Hello, Steve White, Steve Arts 89. Well, I finally gotten through my modern era Doctor Who marathon, and I'm doing a bit of a video for each era and each sort of Doctor because I've finally gotten to see them and now reflecting on them now. Peter Capaldi, I don't know how they end up with Peter Capaldi. For some reason, it just seemed to be the natural choice. Like if you watch the special features, it's like I just had him in my head and everyone thought it was perfect. I'm like, why? Having an older doctor, I remember when I first saw Peter Capaldi, I thought, what are they thinking? Why are they having this old man play the Doctor? Who's going to want to watch that? Who's going to want to go on the TARDIS with some old guy? I know that's ageist, but still, if I'm going to be having crazy adventures where my life is, at risk and I'm hanging off, the edge of buildings, saving the world, I don't want some old guy there. I want someone young and vigorous who's going to save the day with energy. So I couldn't really accept him. I understand he was a huge fan. He knew Doctor Who backwards and forwards, but it never really worked for me. And when you have issues like Clara and the convoluted nature of Clara and just the insular incestuous feeding off of canon and mythology that the show had fallen into, where it really was impossible to get into. I mean, I watched every episode from the modern era in order, and I had trouble with it. I can't imagine someone dipping in and out of episodes, season to season. You can't just watch an episode of Doctor Who, with the family. It's like you've got to watch the whole season, know it all. And if you're watching it, you should be able to watch something and benefit from watching multiple episodes, but you shouldn't have to. There's just the timey-wiminess of it all, with just Doctor Who's history and the relationships, and I can't even start to talk about it because this will be a 20-minute video, and that's the problem. And I think that's why Capaldi this is the era where Doctor Who died. Everyone blames Jodie Whittaker and Ncuti, but I'm sorry, this show died during Peter Capaldi's watch. Now, this is one example. I remember seeing this book and a bunch of Doctor Who books in one of the cheap bookshops for $5-10, and I didn't buy them because it's I don't want this face. That's not who I think of as Doctor Who, some old guy. And I think the reason why they were there is because the general interest in Doctor Who was waning, and the ratings dropped by, I think, maybe half during his era. I remember looking at the ratings and doing a little bit of a study at the start of this marathon 2 months ago. When I started, it's dragged out a lot longer than it's planned to. Well, I've kind of enjoyed living with Doctor Who for a couple of months and taking my time with it, but I was really planning to do this quickly in 2 weeks, watching 13 seasons or 14 seasons. There's sessions of there's groups of specials that feel like a season but technically aren't. So I just couldn't really get into it. It was too complicated. I mean, it's not like I didn't understand what's happening, but it was just a chore keeping track of it all, and I just wanted standalone episodes and standalone adventures, and not just going back to the same things over and over again, but from different directions and different ways and different times, changing all the context of everything, and just too much, too complicated. I get Doctor Who. Doctor Who should have time travel in it, but not be about time travel, is what I sort of came out of this understanding. When the shows worked and when the episodes worked and when the seasons worked is when they were just using time travel as a means to tell other stories, not being the story. That is a huge thing they fell into with this show in the later years. There were some good episodes though. I did enjoy some of the episodes, but the dynamic, it was kind of creepy when suddenly you have this old guy and he's in love with this young girl who's just so young, and she can't see him as the same person because of age. And yes, there is an issue of ageism, and so forth, but that's just reality. And I'm surprised at a lot of people seem to embrace Capaldi's era, and I think part of it is because they did go a little darker, the stories, and take some of them a little bit more seriously. But then they went on this huge comic turn. It's like they gauged some negative reaction or something, and suddenly we had is it Matt Lucas or whatever? What's the name of the guy who is from Little Britain? He popped up playing this weird character, and there are quite a few comic, very childish sort of episodes, and that which kind of irked me a bit. Now, one of the high, and then Bill, I mean, she was okay, but like when you go from these very idealized sort of female love interest, and then you go to this sort of odd, quirky sort of character that there wasn't any tension with. She was sort of there for the fun of it, but so she never really clicked for me as well. Just a lot of things didn't really click, didn't really work. And there's a couple episodes I had to like keep going back. I'm like, what the hell are they doing here? What is the point of this? And I did struggle quite a bit, but it did pull up a bit at the end. Like Missy was a highlight. They really played her out well, and of course the last Christmas special with the original, well, not the original Doctor. Can't even call him the first Doctor anymore. William Hartnell's Doctor, where they got the actor who played William Hartnell in the movie about the making of the original Doctor Who in the first couple of seasons, Adventures in Time and Space. That was amazing. And there were a couple of characters. I mean, Danny Pink was cute. I loved him. He was cute, poor thing. So many issues. Riggsy, he was fun. So they had a couple of little moments. The story, The Return of Dr. Mysterio, that was nice. I mean, they sort of pulled the best elements of Superman with the sort of Lois and Superman scene on the rooftop apartment, and then, you know, he catches the space shuttle, like the plane and the baseball field and everything. So there were a few things that they managed to pull off well, but there was a lot of stuff in between that was just really a bit too much. I mean, they did an interesting explanation, backstory, origin story for the Cybermen, and explained the whole balaclava costumes and everything. They did a few interesting things. They did, but still didn't really click. And I was kind of looking forward to Jodie Whittaker, which a lot of people act like she was the end of Doctor Who, and she really wasn't. It was already in decline before she even got in there. But I am done talking about Peter Capaldi. I must admit, he did get a little better towards the end. He did seem to get more Doctor Who-ish. He was a little bit more weird, a little better energy, and the big hair and the costumes changed. Like, at first they seemed to be trying to fight against he was older and tried to make him look young and hip and not so doctory. Because the younger Doctors always dressed older and were sort of weird and quirky in this sort of old-timey way. And they're trying to go the opposite way with him. They had him the glasses and playing guitar, and it was like a midlife crisis Doctor Who. And then they started to just let him be the Doctor a bit, and it did ease up a bit, but it was a little too late. But I'm still talking. It's funny, the Matt Smith video I did in 6 minutes because I had trouble getting into it, but it was kind of okay. I didn't have as many issues with it as I did with Capaldi, so it's easier to complain about something for longer than it is to talk about something you like. But I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of Peter Capaldi and his era. I did like the world tour they went on. They came to Australia. I missed them, but I wasn't feeling Doctor Who at that time, so I do kind of worry that I've missed Doctor Who, because I'm sort of watching the whole thing after it's really finished. I know they're saying they're going to do more Doctor Who and doesn't, rely on Disney, but yeah, there's nothing in the pipeline for another couple of years, and who knows what's going to happen. But we'll see. I'm going to go.